Okay, here we are. Welcome, welcome everyone to our Unlimited Network Mastermind, dedicated to support the success of conscious entrepreneurs, meaning the ones that, like us, that really choose to be successful from the inside out in alignment with your true nature, with your open heart. I mean, it's not about reaching out to get something that you are not, or to really be successful so then you will be blah blah blah. It's really about mastering the laws of creation and prosperity that we are really diving in deeply, thanks to Catherine Ponder, into this new cycle of mastermind. So I'm very happy I love this book, and I do love to have the opportunity to work with all of us here together. So I really welcome you, the ones that we are on the panel here. Thank you for being here. And then the ones that you are on the other side, I don't see you, but I know many of you responded to our invitation here. And can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, beautiful. Thank you. Welcome, Dr. Frank. And I want to welcome the ones that maybe we don't see you on the panel, and to remind you that if you want to be on the panel and really offer us your wisdom and your engagement with this growth that we are all opening here, you need to send an email to Arne, A-R-N-E, @unlimitednetwork.com, and that will send you a special link for all of us to be here in the panel. And if not, you also have a link under the video there where you can send questions, and at the end of the mastermind we can answer them and engage or sharing or anything that you feel like you want to connect here. But I love to be, all of us here together. I think like we are supporting each other not only by doing our inner work alone, that of course we are responsible of our lives individually, let's say, but we are becoming collective. And I think the more people we do this and we open up to the richness of our well-being that is natural and is a given to us already, the better for everyone. The better for everyone, for our world, our planet, and everything. I mean, consciousness, from my perspective, is the gift that we are. Okay, so let's go for it. Let's see. So I wanted to continue with our journey. Last Saturday, we had our first day in contact with Catherine Ponder and the dynamic laws of prosperity. And we were talking, I just want to highlight what we worked last Saturday with the first chapter. And, she was really reflecting, or helping us to reflect into the shocking truth, on how prosperity is our birthright. And, how the deep understanding of where we come from, in the sense of culturally knowing and to be mentally conditioned to think and associate, like poverty and to don't have too much, to don't have desires, etc., with the spiritual understanding or awakening that people thought in the past. From all the religions, we have this kind of tendency, and she's super good at transferring to us, or helping us to understand how the real spirits that we are, the spirituality, not the religion, not the belief system, but our true nature, is connected with source, capital letters, that is unlimited potential. There is no, because I get something from source is less now. The opposite, is always expansive and super abundant. And I wanted to share with you, like last night I have dinner with some friends in our house, and in the conversation, of course, our business always show up. That is one of the things that I want to say thank you to all of us, that we have a business, or if you don't have a business, give us a call, send us an email, we can share with you all what we are doing here. But I just want to feel the gratitude for having not only the business vehicle that we are engaging with, besides our private, personal, maybe in my case I do coaching also, but we are privileged in being all together here working on a vision of making our residual income in a easy, fun, and prosperous way. So I want to say thank you for that, for sure, But yesterday in the dinner, in the conversation, I got this comment from one of my guests, about, but what about Buddha, because we were talking about prosperity. And the comment came, about, but, Buddha didn't have anything, didn't need anything. I mean, it was very austere, like really, when you are awake spiritually, you don't need anything. And it was very powerful to see how my consciousness, because remember that we create our world, something that we will deepen in today in chapter number 2. But I was thinking, you know, wow, that kind of thinking keeps being in my consciousness, because it's easy to think, excuse me, prosperity, all of us here together, you know, like-minded people, that we have the same, you know, attraction or vibration, that we really are ready to manifest prosperity in our lives. But in the general world, when you go outside, you see the collective consciousness that I am part of, okay? So yesterday on the table, I was really, you know, trying to love the moment and trying to really understand and be gentle, compassionate with that all thinking in my consciousness, you know. But how ingrained do we have that kind of thinking? And we have to face it to really open the door to the source, to the abundance, capital letters, to prosperity, always more. We have to let go our old thinking. So I ended the conversation, or we continue, I mean, the conversation there, you know, by explaining that how, you know, everybody has their own call. Not everybody is called to be an entrepreneur, I would say, or to have an airplane or a jet, you know, because that's the symbol or that's what they really feel passion for. In my case, I think we are supporting all of us here as conscious entrepreneurs to be in integrity with what is true for you and what is the kind of life that you want to live for yourself, knowing that you have the right, capital letters, to have it all. All your desires are sacred from the new frequency, the new perspective of the spirituality, what I call capital letters, you know, I mean, without the conditioning. It's like you let go all what we learn, all the fear, all the sins, you know, all the ignorance, and we start to really realize that we are one with Source, and that start to wake up in us. So again, be gentle with the collective, with your own subconscious mind too, if that shows up, okay? And just to share also that last week I was very touched. I mean, this is a book that I study now for many times, and I love because every time I get something in a deeper level, you know. And last week was so beautiful for me. It really hit me to repeat and repeat, you know, like be still and know that I am God, or Source, or love, or you use your name, please. But be still and know that I am God at work in this situation. That little sentence that we had last week in the deep understanding of letting go the old thinking and coming to the new and to start to connect with Source inside was very powerful for me. And I was kind of, I don't know, you can call it obsessed maybe, but really kick my mental body. And I was very often for 2-3 days repeating that sentence, you know, be still and know that I am God and that I am at work in this situation. So it was such a key for me to release worries or, you know, projections to the future in the sense of being, you know, anxious or worried about things that I want maybe and that I could feel impatient about. Was a shower of peaceful, you know, engagement with myself and with my week. So I invite all of you to really practice, you know, I mean, check what resonates with you, but practice with it. And so I hope
You just dropped out, Monica.
so that goes on automatic because it's really associated or in line with the truth. So after this introduction, and welcome again, the ones that just came a little late here, I want to offer the space to Doc Fran, that is the one that is leading us here in this beautiful journey of reading the books, and to see what we can integrate today. And then after that reading, we are going to share from our hearts here. And remember, in the other side, you can always write your questions or comments, but we love to make this personal, to really apply all of this in our personal lives and to make it true for us, okay, to integrate all what we are running. So welcome, Doc Fran. Thank you for being here with us.
Well,
and
good
this
morning.
is your space. Yes.
I appreciate it. Sorry for the frantic randomity at the end there. So I had to get my computer powered up and online. So anyway, yeah, I'm quite excited to continue with this book myself. And Monica, that was a beautiful synopsis of last week's messages. And the first chapter really was very powerful. It hit a lot of people right between the eyes, metaphysically speaking, concerning their beliefs and attitudes. And so, you know, as a man thinketh. So that is the whole purpose of this endeavor, is to allow our consciousness to expand, to accept and learn to apply perhaps a little different thinking that we may have been employing for the rest of our lives up to now. So today we're going to work on the basic law of prosperity, and this is really, again, an incredibly simple but powerful and profound training. I really like how simplistic her thinking is and how simple it is to understand what she's saying in these amazingly complex thoughts. So, Basic Law of Prosperity, Chapter 2. I learned the basic law of prosperity the hard way. I've been earning the right to tell you about it for a long time. 15 years ago, life looked hopeless for me. Widowed and with an infant son, I had no training for any type of work and therefore no means of income. My family during that period was not able to offer much financial assistance. If you could have seen me then, you would doubtless have said, prosperous thinking or no prosperous thinking, there goes a hopeless case. It was during this miserable period that I learned about the power of our thinking as an instrument for success or failure. It soon became plain to me that my previous failures were due largely to my previous failure thinking. But that same power of thought, when rightly directed, could be the key to a healthy, happy, successful living. What a realization it was on the day I read the words of Solomon, "As a man thinketh within himself, so is he." And later the words of Job, "Thou shalt decree a thing, and it shall be established unto thee, and light shall shine upon thy way." From the philosopher James Allen, I learned, through his thoughts, man holds the key to every situation and contains within himself that transforming and regenerative agency by which he may make himself what he wills. I then excitedly surmised that my potential wealth and health and happiness were actually within me, waiting to be radiated outward into my world as healthy, wealthy, happy thoughts, feelings, expectations, and decrees, which in turn would attract like results into my life. As soon as I grasped this simple but all-powerful success secret and began applying it, the tide changed and my ships began to come in. The way soon opened for me to literally work my way through business school. I thereafter became a secretary to Joe Talley, a young lawyer who became a mayor of our town and a candidate for Congress. Upon thinking back, I now realize that consciously and unconsciously, I invoked the basic prosperity law of radiation and attraction every step of the way. Recently, on meeting old friends whom I'd not seen for many years, they exclaimed in astonishment, "Catherine, what has happened to you? You seem so different from the serious, unsure, unhappy person we once knew." The law of laws. Truly, the laws that govern prosperity are just as sure and workable as the laws that govern mathematics, music, physics, and the other sciences. The Bible describes that basic law of prosperity when it speaks of sowing and reaping, or giving and receiving. The scientists describe it as action and reaction. By some, it has been termed the law of supply and demand. Emerson described it as the law of compensation, whereby like attracts like. He declared that the law of compensation is the law of laws. You cannot get something for nothing. I agree with Emerson that it is time the law of compensation was emphasized as life's basic law. I like to think of this basic law of prosperity as radiation and attraction. That what you radiate outward in your thoughts, feelings, mental pictures, and words, you attract into your life and affairs. But you cannot get something for nothing. The reason why there is still poverty in this universe of lavish abundance is that many people still do not understand this basic law of life. They do not yet realize that they must radiate in order to attract, and that what they do radiate, they constantly attract. Most people today still have to learn that they cannot get something for nothing, but must give before receiving, or must sow before reaping. When they do not give or sow in terms of prosperity, they make no contact with God's lavish abundance. And so there is no channel formed through which the rich, unlimited substance of the universe can pour forth its riches to them. The truth of this was recently brought to my attention when I had contact with some people in a poverty-stricken area. I soon discovered that these people only wanted a handout. They were not interested in invoking the basic laws of prosperity by giving or sowing first. Instead, they were trying to get something for nothing, which simply cannot be done. Thus, they continued to live in poverty. You can always give something. Perhaps you're thinking, what could such a person give when he seems so in lack? There is always something a person can give, either tangibly or intangibly, that will put him in touch with God's rich supply. A widow with a house full of children once telephoned a counselor. She had no money or food for her children. It was lunchtime and her children had not eaten since the day before. She was desperate. The counselor who took the call knew well what it was like to find oneself in such a predicament. She had learned that the power of prosperous thinking could literally supply manna from heaven at a financially desperate period in her own life. With great compassion, she explained the magic power of giving in some way, which would start the substance flowing back in appropriate form. Of course, when she explained that the widow must give in order to receive, the widow's first reaction was much the same that yours or mine might be the first time we were told we must give to receive. She lamented, "But that's just it. I have nothing to give." To which the counselor gently replied, "My dear, of course you have something to give. We always have something to give. Indeed, we always have more to give than we at first realize." She then urged this frantic widow to look about her and to ask for divine guidance concerning what she could give. The widow was assured that this counselor would be praying with her in the faith that she would be divinely led as to how to give and how to receive thereafter. This counselor also told her that after starting the flow of substance by giving, she was then to get ready to receive by preparing her table for that meal that she so wished for her children, and by preparing her grocery list with which to shop in the assurance that the money would manifest very soon for those groceries. In faith, the widow sat down and prayerfully asked what she had that she could give. Suddenly, she remembered flowers growing in her yard, which she happily cut and gave to a sick neighbor who seemed overjoyed to receive them. Next, she prepared her table with her best china, silver, and linens in the house. This caused pleasure and excitement among her children, who then expectantly awaited a good meal. Just as she was completing her grocery list, someone who had been owing her money for a long time dropped by and paid her $30 on their debt. $30 which she had long since given up of ever getting back. If I could shout only one message to the whole world regarding life's secrets, it would be this: that you cannot get something for nothing, but you can have the best of everything when you give full measure for the good you wish to receive. Radiate and you will attract. Emerson might have been describing this law of giving or receiving, or radiation and attraction, when he wrote, "Great hearts send forth steadily the secret forces that incessantly draw great events." And who are the great hearts? Those people who dare to think and radiate great thoughts and expectancies of success and prosperity instead of failure, trouble, and limitation. There's nothing great, unusual, or praiseworthy about failure, trouble, and limitation. Anyone can experience those things by following the line of least resistance and by entertaining the usual failure thoughts that one constantly hears every day. How often one hears the complaint, "Everything happens to me. I just can't win for losing." This is a tough world. The other fella gets the breaks. This beginning usually leads into a conversation filled with unpleasant experiences of the day, criticism of jobs, co-workers, families, governments, world leaders, war, crime, disease, and hard times. Hard times. Each of us constantly uses the law of radiation and attraction, whether we're aware of it or not. But if you wish to enjoy more prosperity and success in life, you have to consciously, boldly, and deliberately take hold of your thoughts and feelings and redirect them toward prosperity and success. It is up to you to dare to choose and radiate outward through your thinking what you really wish to experience in life, rather than to get bogged down in unpleasant or failure experiences of the moment. These conditions can change as quickly as you can change your thinking about them. I have observed in talking with hundreds of people who have gone from failure to success that it is what we really think deep within ourselves most of the time, rather than the big front we may put up to others, that unconsciously attracts like results to us. There is an age-old maxim that says, "We are where we are because we are what we are, and we are what we are because of our habitual thinking." Many people work hard to attract greater good in superficial ways without first habitually radiating its mental equivalent, and then they are sorely disappointed when their great efforts result in failure and disappointment. Once, when I was talking with a lady who felt that she would like to be married, I suggested that she invoke the law of radiation and attraction. After explaining that she must radiate before she could attract, I suggested that she prayerfully radiate these ideas over and over. Divine love expressing through me now draws to me all that is needed to make me happy and my life complete. While floating in a swimming pool, she silently affirmed over and over, "Divine love expressing through me now draws to me all that is needed to make me happy and my life complete." Presently, she heard a man's voice calling to her from the side of the pool, inquiring about the water, which she assured him was wonderful. Soon he was in the water, and a little later he was in her life as her husband. Mental preparation pardon me, comes first. What a thrill it is to realize that all things can be accomplished within the mind first, that your mind is your divine power for good. The reason all things can be accomplished mentally first is that the mind is the connecting link between the formed and unformed world. It is up to you in this wonderful age to claim your spiritual dominion of great good over everything, and to dare to subdue, change, or reform your world as you wish. Of course, you have been given all of this power to produce good and only good. Man's difficulties come when he uses this power in reverse. But what a sense of freedom it gives you to realize that whatever you center your attention upon steadily, constantly, and deliberately in your thoughts, feelings, and expectancies forms the experiences of your life. When you realize this, life becomes easier, simpler, and more richly satisfying. You then no longer feel that you have to argue, beg, reason, plead, or appeal to anyone for your desired good. Instead, you quietly go to work in your thinking to mentally choose, mentally accept, and mentally radiate what you wish to experience in life. It gives you a victorious feeling even before the rich results begin to pour in. Be deliberate about wealth. You've got to radiate deliberately in order to attract the good you desire. Otherwise, you get into a limited trend of thought and produce limited results. What you do radiate or deliberately entertain mentally, you constantly attract. It may not appear that this law works in this exact way when you look at people who seem to be succeeding who apparently do not deserve it, but in due season, their health, wealth, and happiness crumble if it is not supported by a firm foundation of right thought and feeling. It is just a matter of the mills of the gods grinding slowly. Instead of fretting about whether the law of radiation and attraction is working rightly in the lives of others, proceed quietly to prove the laws of prosperous thinking for yourself. A stockbroker whose business associates were watching the market reports and declaring how slow things were, slipped into a private office and quietly relaxed. As he did so, he began to radiate this thought: everything and everybody prospers me now. Suddenly, the phone began to ring and ring. Within a short time, he had received more business by telephone than he had received through any channel in several days. A watch repairman's business was slow. As he boarded an early morning bus, he too remembered the prosperity law of radiation and attraction and began to silently declare, everything and everybody prospers me now. For the next few days, he had many new customers come into his store to have watches and jewelry repaired. Soon he had received enough repair work to keep him busy for many weeks. You are a magnet. Each of us is a magnet. And as a magnet, you do not have to force success and prosperity to yourself. Instead, you can develop that exalted, expectant, prosperous state of mind that is a magnet for all good things in the universe to hasten to you, rather than entertaining the tense, critical, anxious, depressed, unforgiving, possessive state of mind that is a magnet for all kinds of trouble and failure. Since you can have the tangible and intangible equivalent of whatever you dare to choose, mentally entertain and radiate. Stop thinking of things as apart from or outside yourself. Stop thinking that people, things, circumstances, and conditions have power to hurt or harm you. Start realizing that nothing can stand between you and that good that you dare to choose mentally and radiate outward through your thoughts, feelings, words, and expectancies. Choose and radiate mentally. Choose and radiate emotionally. Choose and radiate constantly and persistently. Outer steps will come easily. Of course, I do not mean to imply through all these people's experiences that you simply entertain and radiate the mental equivalency of the good desired and then do nothing more. Often you have to take definite external steps as well, but you will discover that by working out the mental concept of the desired good first, the outer steps will then unfold easily, almost automatically at times, without strained effort on your part. The more you turn your mind in rich directions, the less you seem to have to exert undue human effort to produce results. Work you will, but it will be work as satisfying self-expression rather than work just to survive. Your rich mind power and radiation seems to have a way of going forth and producing right opportunities, events, and circumstances for prosperity and success, so that you almost unconsciously walk into them. Release your pent-up substance. We are all filled with pent-up substance, energy, and divine ability, which wishes to work for us, through us, and around about us. Psychologists declare that the average person uses only about 10% of his mind power. Medical authorities claim that the average person uses only about 25% of his physical power. Psychologists further state that man can release more result-getting power in 1 hour of concentrated use of his mind than in 24 hours of physical work. Some psychologists even believe that man can release more result-getting power through 1 hour of concentrated thought than through a month of physical work. Surely there is great power within and around each of us for our use. You can release this pent-up substance, energy, and power within you. Excuse me. Within you for prosperous living through releasing deliberate thoughts, feelings, and mental pictures of success, prosperity, and riches. As you do so, your rich thoughts, feelings, and mental pictures are radiated outward into the rich, powerful ethers of this universe, where they make contact with the rich, universal substance. This rich, universal substance is filled with divine intelligence and power that then moves among and works through people, conditions, and opportunities to attract that which corresponds with the rich radiations that you've sent forth, and the prosperous results then appear. Indeed, this wonderful universe is rich and friendly to everyone. It wishes all mankind to be prosperous, well, and happy, and for the affairs of man and the world to be in divine order. At this point, however, don't be too concerned about the theory of radiation and attraction. Just begin accepting it and using it as a prosperity secret. All of the prosperity laws stated throughout this book are but various ways of invoking this basic law of radiation and attraction. You will find your use of them a delightful, exciting, fascinating, and richly rewarding process. I now invite you to begin soaring forth through the pages of this book, reminding yourself of these truths. I am an irresistible magnet with the power to attract unto myself everything that I divinely desire, according to the thoughts, feelings, and mental pictures I constantly entertain and radiate. I am the center of my universe. I have the power to create whatever I wish. I attract whatever I radiate. I attract whatever I mentally choose and accept. I begin choosing and mentally accepting the highest and best in life. I now choose and accept health, success, and happiness. I now choose lavish abundance for myself and for all mankind. This is a rich, friendly universe, and I dare to accept its riches, its hospitality, and to enjoy them now. Well, I'm sure that describes the mental state and constant radiated thinking of each and every one of us on the call. So there probably isn't anything else to talk about, Monica. What do you think?
I love it, love it, love it. I mean, it's so beautiful. You know, I love the way that this woman expresses, because it's so, how to say, like human stories and how you can apply this in life or not. I mean, it has a lot of impact, and it's interesting. I do want to talk all of us here, but for me, to get in a deeper way, you know, it's so funny. Be aware, all of us here, you know, when you read something or you hear what we are reading here and working on, because there is responses from the inside out that you can become aware and you start to release that, okay? Like, for example, to me, I remember the first time that I heard this, that you cannot get something from nothing, you know? You cannot get something from nothing. I touched at that time, you know, the place in me, like, but what do I have to give? Like exactly what she's talking in the book, you know? It's like, but I don't have anything to give, you know? And then by bringing attention to that, I start to acknowledge that I am a very generous person. I'm smiling all the time. I'm very uplifting. And yesterday I had the same lady that was talking about the Buddha thing was saying, you know, I love to be with you guys because you really, every time that I'm with you, I feel, you know, better. I always feel good about myself. And oh, well, that's, sometimes we don't have to give, you know, in the physical way or something like that. You are vibrating. So I just want to support all of us here to become very aware of the things that hooks you, you know, and to be loving with that aspect and to explore it a little bit more so we can let it go. And then to really realize that we are generous by nature. We cannot stop giving while we are vibrating. So the key here will be to be gentle on that and to start to get very familiar with the high frequency thoughts, I will say, that are going to make you feel high frequency too, and going to help you to attract, okay, high frequency, prosperity, success, or whatever it is that you are looking for. But again, because you think one thought one time, okay, well, it's the momentum that we have from our subconscious mind and conditioning and collective people right now. Collective consciousness is so powerful that I love the fact that we can be all together here to support each other every week to really, really change our minds and to really start to enjoy, like imagine for a second that you have this everything and everybody prospers me now. Imagine that you get obsessed with this thought, and you are thinking it day and night. You can for 7 days or 21 days, non-stop, only that thinking. Do you think you are going to manifest something different? I'm pretty sure. The thing is, I don't hold the focus so much to, for non-stop thinking, only that kind of thinking. So I want all of us to accept our humanness and to transcend it, okay? We have the keys here to support our prosperity, and I love the way that she explains that. So yeah, let's deepen in here. Let's open the panel for all of you. I would love to see some microphone open to see if you have something to share from, yes, Thelio, welcome. I love to hear you, please.
Actually, Monica, when you mentioned that thought, everything and everyone prospers me now, is so powerful. Last week, I used it as a mantra. I wasn't in the mastermind because I was actually doing in the physical whatever Catherine Ponders is writing in this book, and that phrase is so powerful. I used it in situations that was like, my God, every moment a thought came that the wrong situation, the wrong person, the wrong result. I used the mantra, and it was extremely powerful. It changed everything. And also what calls really my attention today as I read this chapter again was that Miss Ponder, I think she really was a visionary. I don't know until when she lived, I think until the 1960s of last century. And, and she's so of now, she's such a visionary because all this radiation that she's talking about, that in her age, in those days must have been extremely revolutionary. Right now, all these schools of thought, of energy and prosperity, and the most advanced are talking about that. So I think she was extremely visionary. This radiation theory is incredibly powerful. It's all about the energy now, with the law of attraction and the energy work. And this is exactly the way we're seeing now to get things done, not in the old way, the old thinking, but this thinking. And so to me, it's amazing how innovative she was in her moment, and like you were saying, Dr. Frank, with such simplicity, because to me that's what I most like about Catherine Ponder. It's like every phrase, every sentence that is, she puts just the power. I call it to ponderize, it's just ponderizing, just putting that energy in the situation, and it's like magic. She's totally, to me, I love it completely. So I am really elated that we're doing this, this book in this mastermind, and Monica is doing it also in the Spanish mastermind. So it gives power, the one chapter to the one before, and it makes it so real. And I just grateful, and I feel the power of Miss Ponder's words and chapters, because it comes a point that you have to make it real. Every phrase that she makes, the examples, like this beautiful example of this lady that said, but what can I give? What can I offer? I have nothing. I have nothing. And then, exactly, you always have something to give. Maybe it's an attitude. Maybe it's a smile. Maybe it's the simplest thing, but we don't need $1 million or $100,000 or to be multimillionaires to give. We just can give with whatever we have in the moment. And for me, that's the most important lesson of this chapter, that I always have something to give. in every moment, even if it seems like scarcity. No way, I have something to give. To me, that's very powerful because it makes a manifestation. Then something is there for me to give. So this is, I just love this. I'm enjoying myself so much.
I love it. I love it. Me too. Thank you so much, Celio. I just love your passion for this, for the truth, capital Letters. At the end, I think that we are courageous enough or called enough, or is our moment, to embody all this truth, And like you said, I think Catherine Portland is very inspiring in the sense of applying this in our daily life, And one thing that I remember one of the comments that you did that really touched my heart, Celio, and was about, really with this book, with these teachings, we are going beyond, because I think the survival mood, like when this lady in the example today, she could not have food for her kids and all that. I mean, you are desperate, and then you suddenly slow down, stop, and you really connect with the peace inside, and the God as the energy that is taking care of the situation. I mean, that's such a release, and then we survive. She got the food for her kids. And I think that we all know, I remember you taught me that, Celio, I love it when you shared that last week in Spain, but I want to share it because I think it's super important that we are also learning going from survival, that I know in the moment of desperation and, okay, yeah, you relax and then you probably allow more in your life, okay? But we are growing from that survival thing to really to go beyond survival and to go to thriving, to have it all, because we come from the original substance. Remember the science of getting rich that we already studied together here. That has a lot of impact into me too. Like we can create something, from this original substance, and we don't deprive anybody about it. So we are really going from survival to thriving here. So it's a new frequency. Thank you so much, Celio. And I see here Candace, the microphone is open. Welcome.
Thank you. Good morning. One thing I thought about when you spoke about Buddha, from reading Siddhartha, you remember that he was born very wealthy. His family was a merchant's family, and they were wealthy. And he, said no, and went out and became, and worked on what I consider true wealth. I think perhaps we might agree on that here. And I think we're blessed in a certain way to have each one of us on the comparative to world standards, I'm going to guess here, but I think that we probably all grew up wealthy compared to the whole world standards. And we have gone on our spiritual journeys, on our learnings and so on, and here we are now taking all of our gifts and awareness and applying it to becoming wealthy people, not just in our pockets or sitting in our driveway of our beautiful house, or some beautiful car sitting in front of our beautiful house, but also integrating that with who we are and our own best self. And I just think that's so magnificent. And what I've been particularly attending to this weekend myself is the as a woman thinketh part of this, and how I really have to shepherd and contain my thoughts to remember that I am connected to the source of all things, and that that's what flows through me for my abundance. And I just felt like that is the action that I've actually been using or experiencing to create abundance, and that my bank account is greater, my good feeling about myself is greater, the gifts I have given out to others I've received excellent feedback on, and so I'm in a state of a great deal of gratitude right now, and eager for more. Planning right now what it is I have to give that will open up this next gateway, this next doorway, the next level of play or plurk, as my friend says, combining the words play and work. And that's it. I'm complete. So glad to be here.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Candace. I love that we are walking our talk, that we are really practicing our teachings here. And to notice, I think to be first, to be aware of, our radiance, what it is that we vibrate, what it is that we are thinking constantly. I love the way you say it and how you can see already results and feels better. Like you say, this is the wholeness of us, when you have thoughts that are more prosperous, more loving, more everything, you feel better, and that feeling good, it's very attractive. And then you start to get in touch with, our own consciousness of today, the free one, all possibilities. I love what you said about Buddha, but this is the deep understanding, and I think there is nothing wrong. There is no accident in our evolution. We all, went through what we needed to go, and that teachings probably they were super necessary at that time, the poverty and all that stuff, in the sense of not being attached, like you were just very well explained right now, Candace, like we, maybe from the old consciousness, remember the consciousness of separation, fear, limitations, effort, struggle, oh my gosh, that we are waking up from that, okay, from that old consciousness. We look for the source outside ourselves. So it's like that richness comes from the outside in and give me a sense of self. And I am better than you, or more than you, or blah, blah, blah. All comparison and old mind, the unconscious, the ignorant mind. But now we are jumping to the new mind. And the new mind is from the inside out, meaning that richness is vibrating my entire being before I can express and enjoy it in this physical world. So I'm not engaging with material things anymore from attachment or fear or neediness. I'm engaging with the physical world from extension, from expression, from enjoyment, from appreciation. I mean, that's what we are dancing towards too, So to become very aware, I love the way you say it, Candice, because to be very aware of what is my vibrations. Some people, or I don't know, I don't want to point anything here, but to really accept, let's say, our ignorance, so we can liberate it, we can release it, and then to feel excited about this new frequency that is coming very powerful to Earth, and that right now, many of us today is a full moon, by the way. So be ready to claim your truth, to look for your dreams from your heart. You have to be connected with you, not anymore, I think, the richness from, denial or, ignoring yourself and not feeling good about you and just getting. It's not going to work anymore. So, I mean, I think we are in the perfect place to jump to a different frequency. That is what we are all doing here together, So I love to be here together. Thank you so much, Candace. Beautiful. Arne, yes, please, welcome.
Thank you. Well, I'm discovering more about myself here as we're on this group right now. And it's so inspiring, the book and everybody's comments here. And I've been sitting, that there is something more I want in my life as far as prosperity goes. So then taking that back on that I must not be radiating properly or giving properly to the world or outwards of what I can do to match what I actually want to see as a return as well. So I'm sitting there and I notice some part of me is, I'm reaching too fast, and as I'm reaching for something, then I'm pushing it away instead of letting it letting be still and know that God or whatever we call it is already in action, and stop messing up with putting my nose into the the difficult manifestation, or putting everything together for it to come to me. So one thing is stop pushing away, stop pushing for something, be more centered and trusting. And the other way is it's with my Buddhist background is compassion. As I am providing and giving more and showing more of my goodness, of my gifts, then that's a form of compassion. I could call it that. So that makes it easy for me to want to do that. But I do notice that I do. Another problem I have is I'm waiting. I am. I'm doing everything. I'm doing, and everything is good, and it's coming soon. It's coming soon. But it's a state of waiting, and later, instead of going back and listen to this chapter and say, what am I actually vibrating? What am I actually giving? Is there something I can expand on that? And obviously there is. So I think my next step here is to really take an inventory inside of my emotional, and instead of waiting, to go out and provide, to give more of not only what I want to receive, but more of goodness, more of life, more of happiness, more of gifts, more of making others happy, more of making the world around me a better place. As I practice, that's pretty well said. To make the world and the people, make the world a better place. If I can focus on that, then I will be already radiating that, and what I focus on is what expands and is what I see. So I find very, very another good key here that I need to want to practice more of.
Wow. Thank you, Arne. I love you. I love, it's like to really get. I mean, we know so much. I mean, we know everything. I think there is nothing really new, but to integrate it again, to really integrate, to become it, to believe it so strong, And I love the way that you shared just today. Like we are 100% responsible, 100%. Like there is no escape here, to be responsible for our creations, and begins at home, begins in our heart, in our head. So to feel good, to really feel good and excited, to feel good about you, to vibrate in this goodness, in present time is the door, I believe, to the rest that we want to create, in our lives. And I see here Jay. Welcome. Looking forward to hearing you.
Welcome. Good morning. You just said something, and it's always funny because I listen, and you hear the reading and you think you're going to say something, or you're and I always talk about listening with the intent to hear as opposed to listening with the intent to speak. But if you're really listening, something's going to resonate. And you made this man on my mind. What did you say about there you go, about listening, about accepting your ignorance or understanding you're ignorant, and we're all ignorant. And I always joke, and being ignorant doesn't mean you're stupid. But I think a lot of us don't. Accepting your ignorance is, I think, how you said it. And I think that's important. I would always joke, and you may have heard me say it. They don't know that they don't know. But some of us know that we don't know. And we're being ignorant of the fact. I was joking with somebody the other day, and I'm in a stage in life where I'm not where I want to be, and I was joking. I said, and maybe this is an ignorant statement, but I said, geez, I'm much more intelligent than my success right now. I've had some business challenges, some traditional stuff that's going on, and that's part of ignorance. Like I know and I don't know, and we read these books, we know certain things, but then we act ignorantly towards what we really should be doing, and it's like, to know and not to do is not to know. And, we've all heard that. So when somebody says, oh, I know, and you're not doing it, you don't know. Because if you know, you would do it. You have the idea or the thought in your head, but you really don't know, because, and I'm as guilty of this as anyone. So, anything I say here, trust me, You know, I never ask people to do what I wouldn't do, so, or that I've been through. So, you know, we've all done it. Yeah, I know I should pick up, I should be on the phone today, or I know I should be doing this, or I know I should be out there. Well, you know, and that's what I'm saying. You're accepting your ignorance, because I'm in that situation where, okay, I should be in a totally different position than I am. So there's something that I know that I'm not doing that I should be doing. And you know, I mean, in my mind, I know the right thing, but for whatever reason, I'm not following through, or I'm not projecting that, or I'm not focusing on that. I don't know. And it, you know, it all ties in, because you look, and it's not saying, hey, what somebody has. I look at that, you know, when I get in that funk, that position, like, geez, why isn't it happening, or what? And then I look at other people and I go, look at that guy. You know, he's on the street, or that girl in a wheelchair, and she survives every day. And what am I feeling bad about? What, you know, I have skills. I have interpersonal skills. I have reading comprehension skills. I have the ability to walk out of my house every day. And so, you know, there's some ignorance in ourselves that we're not accepting, that we're not pushing forward. And, you know, it's an ignorant thing to blame what you think you don't know, because you're just not putting that out there. You're just not doing the action. You're not moving forward on what you should know, and that's being ignorant. And when you said that, it just like smacked me in the face. I go, yeah, it really is. You need to, and I think not accepting your ignorance, and it's a hard thing to do. It's, you know, your opinion of something, not agreeing with it, but not listening to it, as being ignorant. Okay, it might be good for you, it might in your situation, but until I listen to it and hear it out, that's being ignorant. Now I can listen to it and hear it out and not accept it, because it's either it's something I don't believe, or it's a perfect situation for you where you're at, it doesn't fit my situation. And then me not doing it is not being ignorant, and now I understand the situation. And that just hit me, and I hope that makes sense in the call. But I think it's important to, you know, if we let go of our ignorances, it'll help us open up a lot of avenues and a lot of opportunities to us. So, back to you, Monica.
Oh, Jay, I love you too. I love you. You know, I do love our humanness.
I love you guys. You know.
You know, I love this. I don't know. I think we need to be very compassionate with our old with our old selves. You know, and I love the way you say it, Jay, because we are human, and there is many people like this. I am many often, and I for sure I totally resonate with what you said. I mean, I was there for sure. You know, but I think the beauty is to, like you said beautifully, you know, it's like to really, I think you become wise when you accept your ignorance. You know, it's only like, okay, and to realize that we are doing this kind of work that is opening the door, and to also realize that today in this planet, okay, these energies, the frequency of our planet, as soon as you are sensitive, energetically talking, that I am very sensitive, you notice that the energy is changing very, very quick. So the ones that we surrender to the change, that we follow the call of having it all and being it all and feeling incredibly good from the inside out, okay, we are going to suffer less than the ones that keep going in the running motor, do, you know. I think that aspect of life is relaxing a lot, that the actions, like Catherine Ponder was teaching us today, you know, the actions that come from our true vibration, radiation, you know, when we are radiating our prosperity and our prosperity consciousness, let's say, the actions are not because you have to do it or based on effort. You know, the actions really come from our own passion, and this is something that I'm learning from Arne. I want to say thank you again to Arne, because sometimes I don't feel like doing anything, you know, in my businesses, or I have a little break of, you know, even with my coaching that I love and teaching, and you know, the workshops that I do with women and all that stuff. To me, I felt like 2 or 3 years of standby here, because I called for financial freedom, you know, is what I was looking for. And just that intention shakes me so much that I didn't even, you know, I start right now to feel a little more outside oriented, but I was very introverted. Why? Because the way that I was dealing with life in the past, from the do, was not anymore fulfilling. You know, it's like, so right now to respect my own rhythm and to keep doing my inner work, to really be comfortable. You know, when we say that sentence of, you know, be still and know that I am God, and that I am at work in this situation. I mean, that is a huge prayer, a huge surrendering. I mean, that thought, okay, that thought, because it's a thought at the end, right? Taking into your heart, I mean, brings you back home, capital letters, inside you, relaxes you, you know, forces you to trust that are all qualities of your being. So we are all learning, and the first step is to accept that ignorance. Like, I love the way you say, Jade, because it's not stupidity, it's just ignorance is unconsciousness. It's like you don't know what you don't know because you don't know what you know what the possibilities are. But now we are learning and applying that. So I just love all of us human beings, you know, like transcending our limitations here and to really embody the beingness of ourselves. That is what we are really at the core, and to work from the inside out. So, I mean, just thank you, Jay, for such an inspiration and for embracing the humanness. You know, many of us, we pretend that we do it mentally. It's too quick. We don't vibrate in it. We don't feel it. We are not it yet. And that's why it's not flowing to our lap yet. And it's okay. We are all here learning, disciples, you say in English, I think, of the truth. And thank you, you know, what a passionate journey. So great, we are coming here to the end of our time together, and I would love to have to open the space for Doc Fran to give us your wisdom again and to start to close our time together. Yes, welcome. I can see you. Beautiful.
Yeah, what an amazing, enlightening morning this is. I so look forward to this hour. All of your thoughts were so spot on today, and it just really crystallized for me some of the mental wrangling that I've been doing, and most of you all of you are aware that I pretty much have dropped out of the doingness for the last 8 weeks now. And Arnie and Monica are aware that I've been attempting to drop out of the doingness for the last 14 months. And so what struck me is, you know, I was wrestling with what I train many times, and there's some good stuff out there because everybody has a viewpoint and a way of approaching the same basic truth. And so when, you know, we talk about goal setting and things of that sort, and we're supposed to set SMART goals, which are specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely, versus the simplicity of Catherine Ponder's teaching and thinking. And so I was really in a quandary about, you know, what is the right way to do this? And it struck me loud and clear with Arnie's musings and Jay's musings this morning in particular. I love everything that all of you say, because you're all coming into finding that essential truth. And essential truth is a singular thing. It is a timeless, immutable truth with a capital T. And we all have to find that by coming in through the various viewpoints. And there's infinite viewpoints, infinite paths to the center of something. And what struck me is that the minute that we try to visualize a concrete entity as an end result, I will be happy if I have fill in the blank, this object. That immediately is an expression of lack. No matter how you slice it, dice it, justify it, rationalize it, etc., the reality is that your vibration, as Arnie was indicating and wrestling with, your vibration is inherently coming from a point of lack. my life is lacking this sailboat. If I have this sailboat, I will be happy. You know, we may have the illusion of happiness on a temporal basis, but the sailboat, as we all know now, doesn't create the happiness. So I go back to integrating the trainings that we've had together over the last few weeks and months. And anytime you try to quantify and express a desire in objective, subjective, physical, human terms, you are expressing it from a point of lack, which is a form of resistance to what is. So many of you may recall that I have verbalized a number of times that I have been physically attempting to do nothing but create and vibrate from a position of gratitude and acceptance of what is without judgment. Because those are the things, acceptance, gratitude, judgment, they are the resistances. They're mental resistances. And as long as we think them, we're creating that mental resistance to what we need and want. So I've been focusing on doing nothing other than be grateful for exactly what is. And we've had many teachers that have written, if you want a better house, you know, you just lavish nothing but appreciation, joy, and gratitude for the house that you have. And out of that position of vibration or radiation, and those are the two words that are interchangeable here, Catherine's word is radiation, out of that vibration of gratitude for what is, with no expectation of what might be, should be, want to be, etc., that sets the stage for allowing the universe to fulfill our desire. So I think we automatically and humanly communicate abundance as prosperity in monetary terms. We've had many authors try and gently shift our thinking to understand that abundance is truly a mindset of being complete with exactly what is in your life at this moment. Eckhart Tolle, one of the books that we'll be studying in the future, The Power of Now. This is where I've been pondering, and that is just really working on being totally present in the moment and doing only those things in that moment which bring me joy and fun. And in the process, it was very interesting to realize that I have been giving and giving and giving of myself, my talents, my time, and the joy, peace of mind, and sense of abundance, of happiness and abundance in my life has gone up. There's really no rational explanation for why I keep having money flow into my accounts, because it certainly isn't based on the level of physical activity that I'm putting into any of my businesses at this point. And I've simply been building sailboats, sailing sailboats, working on my boat, taking care of my mother, and preparing for our Saturday morning training. This is my sole business activity, is preparing my contribution for the day, which pales in comparison to what I learned from the contributions of each of my panel members here. So I'll leave you with this thought. It's given us all a lot to ponder about. See you next week.
Oh, thank you so much, Doc Fran. You know, you really reflect for me again, I love you guys here. You know, we are all so human and so honest, you know, like to really walk with integrity our moment, you know, and I like it what Candace was saying just before, just for us to to recall here. I know it's a little late, but I feel excited, as you can notice with the topic. But you were saying, how we can, be in the present moment, like you were saying right now, Doc Fran, and to really enjoy our high frequency and to be eager, eager and excited like a child, like a little kid, for what we want to create and what we want to play with. But again, I think like today we are really in this moment of balancing what I love to call our masculine driven, goal-oriented, and blah, 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 I will be happy when, unconscious, let's say, and the feminine that is the heart-oriented embodiment of your frequency, to be conscious of that. So I think we are doing an incredible work, all of us together here. I would love to know, Arne, if there is any question or comments on the other side that we could...
No, we're all good.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you very much. So we are going to close, I think, with a prayer of Catherine Ponder, just to make sure that we let go, that we close this reunion with her frequency. That is what we choose to study here. And then we are going to get together next Saturday. I hope we enjoy this spring, like, creative moment, but next Saturday is going to be already April 11. So, just let's complete with this. And imagine for a second that you believe it, that you are it. Okay, imagine that this prayer is something that you radiate, that you believe it so much. After how we believe it? By repetition, like Doc Frank was teaching us in other masterminds that we had, okay? But imagine for a second that you embody this frequency, okay? That you really know it and believe it. I am an irresistible magnet with the power to attract unto myself everything that I divinely desire. According to the thoughts, feelings, and mental pictures I constantly entertain and radiate. I am the center of my universe. I have the power to create whatever I wish. I attract whatever I radiate. I attract whatever I mentally choose and accept. I begin choosing and mentally accept the highest and best in life. I now choose and accept health, success, and happiness. I now choose lavish abundance for myself and for all mankind. This is a rich, friendly universe, and I dare to accept its richness, its hospitality, and to enjoy them now. Thank you so much, everyone. See you next Saturday, April 11 at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, New York time. And have a wonderful, prosperous week. Any comments? Arne, A-R-N-E, @unlimitednetwork.com. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Great. Learned a lot.
Another good call. Thank you.
Thanks, you guys.
Bye-bye,
Thank you, everyone,
everybody.
watching the videos also. Bye-bye.